Welcome to Demystifying Gay Porn. My name is Ike Grande, and if you watch gay porn, I've definitely helped to get off. And back again for season 4 is a podcast favorite. Adult entertainer Sean Duran, thank you so much for coming back.
Thank you for having me.
No problem. You know, it was, salut. Thank you so much. Well, this is very nice.
It's good, right? This is nice.
Yeah. So you went out and tried to get Jack Daniels?
Yeah. But this is very similar to Jack Daniels. I don't know. Do you drink Jack Daniels often?
I drink bourbon. Jack Daniels, not so much, but I have no problem with Jack Daniels.
But I was just thinking, I don't know. I always have this thought in my head, and no one else can corroborate with this, but I feel like it has a banana-y taste to it.
But you recommended that we have a bourbon while we talk. Maybe loosen some more lips or...
I needed it.
How's your week been? You've been in the city to do some shoots. You've worked with me for Treasure Island. And every time you come in, I try to see what we can get together. And
Yeah.
yeah.
I think it was great.
What else did you do while you were here?
I've walked a lot. I've been rained on quite a bit. That's pretty much it.
Oh, you did some escorting, right?
Yeah, clients.
Better.
Yeah.
Okay. So we'll go over all that stuff, but I want to know a little bit about what's been going on in the past year or in the past 2 years since we've seen each other.
It really feels like it was not that long ago.
Yeah.
But it was. During that trip to New York, I was on Grindr and I met my now boyfriend because I set my Grindr to Fort Lauderdale because I like to just do it in advance. I don't know. I have to make it life difficult for myself. But I met him and then we've been together ever since.
Okay. And now you lived in Fort Lauderdale for a little bit.
Yeah. And then we lived in LA for 6 months.
Okay.
And then now we live back in my hometown of Gastonia, North Carolina.
What was LA like?
Fucking awful.
Why?
It was so awful. And I wouldn't have moved back to Gastonia from Miami. I would never. But so I moved back because my mom needed help with this new business that she started. So I'm now an ice cream man driving an ice cream truck. And so she was like, would you want to come home and help me? I know. I'm like, I'll fucking do it. Anything to get out of LA. Just get me out of this place. And we landed there because we were on a country ride road trip. We were just going across the country and stuff. And we just got tired of it. And we were just in LA. I'm like, let's just fucking live here. It was like, okay, we just went on Craigslist, found our apartment, and we were like, this place is gross.
That's pretty cool, though, the fact that you were just like, whatever, let's just live here. Have you ever lived, I know you worked a lot in LA, but living there is obviously a different experience then?
Yeah.
Yeah? What did you dislike most about LA?
How far everything is. To go to the gym would take 45 minutes.
You do need a car almost everywhere you go, right?
Yeah, and it was just, we were losing weight. I was losing weight so much because it took so much to go to the gym. Took so much to go get food, and we had a tiny apartment with barely a kitchen. So it's everything was just such a task, and I just didn't feel like doing that task.
So it's nothing about the people there, or nothing about...
I think everybody in LA was great. People in LA were very nice. There's a lot of homeless people living in campers on the side of the road in tents, and there's no rules, nobody does anything about it, and I'm like, I can't deal with this shit.
I spent a little bit of time last year in Los Angeles in a couple of different places, and everywhere you went, Koreatown, right in the middle of Los Angeles, there were just homeless people, and it's unfortunate, but it's an unfortunate truth, and it sucks. But let's not. That could open up another can of worms, and we can talk about that on another podcast. How about that?
Let me drink this drink, and then I'll talk all about it.
Yeah, you know what? I might bastardize this a little bit. I'm going to put some Coke in there if I can.
God, and Coke Zero at that.
Well, you see, I'm not having sugar. I've given up on big sugar. And
that's just
how
as bad. So then, what are you going to get? Fake sugar? That's worth. Well, no,
I know.
You?
And you know what the funny thing is the liquor is not the best thing for your body either. However, I do enjoy to have a drink, and I mean, I do like Jack and Cokes. I like Cuba Libres and stuff like that. Right? If I can minimize the sugar in it, I feel better about it.
See, I can't. I love Coke. I drink Coke, but only regular Coke. I can't drink anything diet. It makes me immediately sick.
The Coke Zero is not that bad, actually.
No, don't. No.
I swear
it's bad. No, I've had it. I've tried it.
Had it? Okay.
If you set all these different diet and a regular Coke, I can know which one is the regular Coke. People are like, oh, you can't tell the difference. Get the fuck out of here. I'll get a headache and I'll start throwing up.
I can absolutely tell the difference. It's just a matter of that familiar taste. But there's so much sugar in Coca-Cola. Like it's insane. I'm shocked. I wasn't really a big drinker when it came to like soft drinks and stuff like that. But when I have a drink, yeah, I want to do that. So when I did this thing last year where I was like, no sugar, no carbs, I was like, well, fuck, I got to find an alternative. And this was the best one. This one and Diet Dr. Pepper. I don't know if you've ever had Diet Dr. Pepper, but it's delicious.
I've had it, but
yeah, you don't
only like right when it came out to be like, okay, let's fucking see. I'm like, bleh, disgusting. Dr. Pepper is everything where I'm from.
Yeah.
Dr. Pepper and Sundrop. We have Sundrop. And that, if you want to talk about sweet, you'll get that. And yeah, you won't be able to go to sleep.
Yeah.
It's like liquid. It's liquid meth. You know, it's basically
how much sugar there is.
Yeah. It's crazy.
You wanted to be a truck driver. You're kind of a truck driver now, technically.
Yeah, but I don't need the license for it. Turns out I'm really bad at backing shit up. Really fucking bad at it. God, man, I could not keep that fucking trailer straight. So, okay, so what happened was I was doing that class and whatever. And the school that I was going to, I was like, I'm having a lot of problems with this school. And then I went on Google reviews, and hundreds of reviews saying the exact same shit as me about this school. It's extremely unorganized and impossible to get into classes. Like, you had to wait in like a 2-hour-long line to get a ticket to go to the class. And then every week you had to wait in that line to make the class schedule. And then every day you go to class, you had to wait in that line to get a ticket. I'm like, can they not just write our name on a list and be like, oh, I'm here. I got to go get a physical ticket.
And you have to pay for it too, right? So
yeah, it's crazy. But what really happened was, I guess about end of September 2021, I had this really catastrophic motorcycle wreck.
Really?
And I wasn't able to walk for 2 months, and I had to go to the hospital, and I lost a bunch of shit. So I was just like, by the time I was done, like I had already forgot everything about truck driving. So I tried to go back. I'm like, this is just too much. I'm just not going to fucking worry about this. Because I had to sell my car, my Corvette that I loved. I mean, it was costing me so much to like $1,000 in repairs and gas and shit a month. I mean, $40 a day in Miami. So I just had to give it up, and then I had to give up my motorcycle because it was wrecked. And then I couldn't walk. And then when I finally was able to walk, my landlord sold my house and kicked me out after 5 years, like with no warning. She was like, oh, you're not on a lease anymore, so you have 30 days. And then they started tearing the house down around me as I was still living there, like started like knocking out walls. I'm like, okay, I guess I'll fucking leave now then.
That's before you met your boyfriend and moved to Los Angeles?
No, that was like right after I met my boyfriend.
Okay.
Yeah, 2 months after I met my boyfriend, that's when I had the wreck, and then he had to take care of me. It's like, this is not what I fucking signed up for.
Yeah, but he's still with you.
Yeah.
Right? Okay. How is North Carolina treating you? How is being back home?
It's really good. Both of us have gained a lot of weight. I'm cooking a lot, and we're going to the gym every day. Everything is so convenient, and people are so nice there. It's so nice to just like walk down the street and just be able to talk to people, you know.
And they say hi.
Yeah, everybody says hi, how are you, blah, blah, blah. So nice.
I wanted to do the podcast like the last day that you were here just because that way there's no stress or anything. But that meant we couldn't really talk all that much because we wanted to catch up on camera and on audio. But
I said, no, don't talk to me. Save it. Don't ask me anything. Don't make me make any jokes. I'm not doing anything until that camera is on.
As an escort, you're asked to do a lot of different things. Oh, and first of all, before we get into that, did you escort before you were in modeling, or did you do modeling and then escorting?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's how it usually goes.
Okay.
Because people are like, oh, I'm going to be a porn star. Like, oh, I'm going to be so rich. No, you got to go fuck this whole band too. That's the trick.
And does it also help to have like a star status in the porn industry?
Well, you know what? And people have told me that. And then I'm like, oh, of course. Yeah. Because people know you so that they want to meet. But also I think the other flip side is I think it hinders you from a lot of people because you don't want to be, some people want the boy next door or like, you know, just a regular guy who's not flashy and like going to draw attention to themselves. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So I think a lot of people don't want people who are already known.
When you get calls, is it like people that are like, oh, I want you to be nasty. I want you to do this. Do they see the persona that you are in your videos and that's exactly what they're expecting?
Yeah, that's why I don't know if you've noticed in most of my recent videos, like I'm trying to be more sensual and not like, oh, fuck, because I don't want people wanting that from me because I don't like doing it. It's really difficult. I can do it for like a couple minutes on camera until they say cut, but then I'm just like, okay, what do I say next? Like, what's like a dirty thing to say? I don't know because I don't know how to talk dirty.
You're not a shit talker. You're not a dirty talker. No. Okay. You are
it's
more
such
sensual.
a turn off to me.
Okay. That's and it does come through on your more recent scenes. But tell me, okay, so the thing I found funny about this was, so escorts or clients will call and ask for certain things. When they ask for the boyfriend experience, what do you do?
Well, I asked them like, so like, what do you mean boyfriend experience? Because everybody has a different idea of what their relationship's going to be like with their boyfriend. Like, just hot sex and love making and like just like dirty talk. I'm like, yeah, that's not what boyfriends do. I can give you my boyfriend's phone number and he can tell you that I'm just going to ask you what you want to eat for an hour. Or like flip through Netflix. Like, do you want to watch that? Is that what you want to watch? Do you want to watch that? Okay. Well, that's my time. I got to go. There's no sex. You can call my boyfriend right now.
Which is funny. How long have you guys been dating? You've been dating for almost 2 years.
2 years.
Okay. All right.
2 years. August 7th.
And when does the comfort level set in with your boyfriends?
Like, what do you mean comfort level?
Like, for instance, I still am expecting like once or twice a week just to like fuck around. And we're 8 years in at this point.
That's great. Once or twice a week?
Yeah.
Jesus.
That's
a lot.
But the funny thing is the whole time I'm like, man, am I doing enough? Am I doing enough?
Same.
And but 2 times I think is great, and we have to plan that. And sometimes he's like, this isn't really sexy, and I'm like, you try.
Well, when you first start dating someone, you have separate houses, and you're like, oh, I'm going to be at your house this time. So the bottom is at his house, getting ready and douching because when you come over, you're going to have sex. But when you both live together, there's no like mystery of like, oh, I'm going to go sneak off and douche. The bathroom's right there and I'm right here. There's no sneaking off. And, I had to bottom today for the scene that I shot. And I had to bottom. And I haven't bottomed in a long time. Probably a year or so I haven't bottomed. And because my boyfriend's, he's a full bottom. And most of my clients, I just tell them like, I'm not going to bottom. I just don't want to deal with it. And I'm just like, I think this is like why I don't really ask for too much sex for my boyfriend because it's so much fucking work for a bottom to do, and I just feel so guilty. I'm like, hey babe, you wanna have sex? And he'd be like, okay, yeah. And I could see him like, well, yeah.
You think about the process.
It's okay, if you don't want to, it's okay. He's like, no, I'll be right back. and by the time I'm like,
45 minutes later,
yeah.
No, I tend to have the same issue. You want to do it, but
I don't want to be an inconvenience, babe, but can we have sex? I feel like, yeah.
And it sucks when it's, if you're dealing with big dicks, you have to clean out. You have to make sure everything is good. I would not, if I'm going to bottom, I'm going to make sure nothing's going to happen in bed that's embarrassing, even to this day. Like, if, you shit the bed, you shit the bed. Like, I've never done that.
Because it's too late to wash the sheets. It's time to go to bed. I'm not trying to, like, wait for that shit to wash through.
Oh man, no, but you hit the nail on the head with that. So I appreciate your honesty.
And also, like, I think when you're in a relationship, people don't realize this because we're monogamous. We're not open. I do clients and videos and stuff, but like on a regular basis, I'm not like we're not out there like looking for sex with other dudes. And I think men are horniest when they're single because there's a hunt involved. If there's no hunt involved, then like what's the point? I'm not that horny. I've already got what I want. And it's like, like you would go to the club because it's like, oh, I want to meet somebody and like have sex, blah, 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 blah. There's no hunt. So it's like, I'm not hungry because there's no hunt.
There's this idea that people have, and you had mentioned this too the other day, where, they think they can call you at 1 a.m. and expect you to be up waiting for them, waiting for that phone call so that you can come over and they can hire you as an escort. Why does that not work for you?
Well, because I'm not one of these meth addict escorts, and I go to bed very early, and I wake up very late, and I just can't. I miss so much money. I could be a millionaire by now if I could just stay up past midnight. If I could just do that, because I always wake up to like 5 or 6 clients calling. I'm like, fuck, man, so much money, but I was just like last night, I was laying in bed. And I'm like, okay, I'm gonna make sure that I'm not gonna miss any clients tonight. I'm gonna do it. So I would set my alarm for like every 30 minutes would wake me up so I could check my phone. I'm like, okay, no one's called, so I'm gonna set my alarm. Oh God, okay, all right. Then someone would message me. I'm like, oh God, please let it just be a fake, so I could just go back to sleep. I don't actually want to work.
So you don't want to do it.
So I'll check the Mr. Numbers. I don't know if anyone on the podcast, if you've ever heard of Mr. Numbers, it is the most important tool in an escort's arsenal of safety.
So what is Mr. Numbers?
Mr. Numbers is an app where you can put a phone number, whoever texts you, phone number into this app, and it will tell you. You know how like Rentman, you could leave reviews for the escorts. Well, this is basically our way of leaving reviews for our clients, and be like, oh, this person's a fake. This person's just a pick collector. Some people have 30-something comments because it'll be all like spam.
So it's almost like rate my John or rate my Dick. Okay.
It's such a lifesaver because I ask for deposits because I'm not trying to set my day up and then that person does not show up. I ask for like a 10% deposit, and then some people don't ask for deposits. I'm like, you're really risking a lot because this could be just some person who's messaging all the escorts just to fuck with them. Because I've been sent to wrong addresses. I've been just dicked around all kind of, and I'm not dealing with that shit.
I'm sure you've seen a little bit of everything.
Yeah.
When it comes to the weirdest thing that someone's ever asked you to do as an escort, what can you remember? What's one of the weirdest things?
This one person in Dallas wanted me to shit in Tupperware, and he wanted to eat it.
Oh wow. Okay. And mail it to him or?
No, he wanted to come to my hotel and get it.
Oh, so he was packing for
I did not agree to that just because I'm like, I would not be able to look at you in the eye and hand you this Tupperware full of shit. I'm sorry.
Yeah. That's rough.
And also, I don't, my bowels, I can't possibly predict. I can't tell you that I'm going to be able to shit in this Tupperware today. It could be tomorrow. I'll do it and I'll just send in an Uber whenever it comes by. I don't know. That's another reason I don't like bottoming. This is so unpredictable. I eat a lot of vegetables.
You can
I don't
just have
understand.
halal. That'll probably
halal. Fucking blow ass everywhere.
Depending on what he wants.
Yeah.
I once dated this guy who was a lawyer, and he was into water sports, but he like wanted to drink pee, and I was like, oh, I don't know if I can do this. And one of our first dates, he's like, hey, come in. He said, do you want a glass of water? And I'm like, no, I'm good. You want some coffee or a beer? And I was like, I'm good. And then eventually I realized he was just trying to get me full of stuff so that I could pee on him. And obviously it didn't work, but still, like that's...
I had to pee on someone today.
Yeah?
My client today, I peed on him. But I do not like, I will not let someone drink it like from my dick. Like some people want to put their mouth around your dick. I can't do that. Something's wrong with my, I don't know what it is, but it is the most painful thing on the planet to me.
Well, maybe it's because you're used to just standing in front of a toilet or urinal or something and peeing there.
Oh, maybe.
Are you pee shy then? Like
No, I can do it.
Okay, you just don't want to.
No, it's like I'll be peeing, and if the client puts my dick in their mouth as I'm peeing, it will send shockwaves of pain throughout my body, and I'll start peeing blood.
Oh wow!
It happened. I remember the first time it happened. I'm like, what the fuck is this? Because like I was peeing, and they sucked it as I was peeing, and I like convulsing. It was so painful. And then the rest of the day, I was like peeing chunky blood out of my dick.
Oof.
I'm like, what could this fucking possibly be? So ever since then, I've told people like, I'll pee on you, but don't grab it and don't put it in your mouth. And this one person, he was high, and he did it, and I had to punch him.
Damn.
Like as soon as he put his lips just close to the head, I started like sending shockwaves of pain. I had to pop him.
Damn.
Like I told you not to fucking do it.
Did he still pay you after that?
Oh, of course.
He probably liked it. He probably did. You
and I have so many people that want me to like beat them up. Like, oh, I want you to punch me. I'm like, I'm not doing that.
That's the weirdest thing that you had, which is pretty weird in my eyes. The shit in the Tupperware. I'm still good, but I will join you in a sec, and I'll do it raw. Have you had any famous people?
Mm-mm.
No.
So
it's just regular old clients that pay you, and okay.
Mm-hmm.
What do you usually get? Do you get like Europeans, Latinos?
No, just
wealthy tycoons.
Dudes.
Okay, I was just
I don't get. See, a lot of these escorts like, oh, I have this client with this really nice penthouse, blah blah blah. I don't get that shit because I get like the dirty, methy people because they think that I'm like that because they see me in these videos being like all dirty and blah blah blah, and they classy people don't want me because they don't want this walking into their fancy building and they're like front desk person like, what the fuck's going on up there?
Little do they know that you're such a nice guy and
doesn't matter.
Not on drugs and not like that's cool. there's a lot of people who commented on the podcast last time. And I'll save them for a little bit, but one of them absolutely said how they had no idea you were so eloquently spoken and also very funny.
I talk real good.
Yeah. I talk real good. That's amazing. I spoke to you about it, but I just got demonetized on the platform on YouTube. So I got to fight it.
I know we're demonetized. That means I'm going to say whatever I want because how much lower can we go?
Yeah, well,
what are they going to do to me? Cancel me?
I know it started with putting mature on everything, which I always do anyway. This is interesting. I didn't really monetize a lot of the stuff that was because I'm doing history now this year.
And you just said history of just gay porn?
History of gay erotica, and
okay, but not history in general.
No, there's plenty of history of gay porn.
I was like, I'm a World War II buff. Let's go into it.
No. This starts right after the war when all these guys start coming back and then they start having beefcake magazines and stuff. But the censorship, everything that got us to where we are today and the freedoms that we enjoy because of the people that were thrown in jail in the 60s and the 70s. Fine. My thing is don't take away my ability, even though I'm not using it, don't take away my ability and be like, oh, you're using this. This is what YouTube said. You're using this for sexual gratification. People are getting off to my channel, basically. That's what they're saying. Meanwhile, there's no naked people. All we're doing is talking about sex, hopefully educating people and stuff. But whatever, I'll fight it. It'll people will be able to watch this interview.
Okay,
let's just say
that's all that matters.
So what else has been going on? You're pretty much married. Right?
No, I am married technically, but still gotta get divorced before I marry this one.
Oh wait, so you are? That's right. We did speak about this. You were married,
and my ex-husband just moved in with us.
Really?
Yeah, because he was going through tough times in Miami. So I said, my boyfriend, I was like, honey, can I just go get Fabio and let him move in here? He was like, yeah, that's fine. Blah blah blah. Because Fabio, we're technically married, but we were only together for like a year or so. And after that, we just stayed married. He's my best friend. Mm-hmm. He's like a brother to me. And my biggest fear my whole life, because I don't know, I've always worried about him. Just like life in general. I don't think he was prepared for life, especially in America. He's from Brazil.
Okay.
And my biggest fear throughout my whole several years of being with him is like, I'm really worried that one day I'm just going to drive by and he's going to be homeless or something. I can't have Fabio being homeless. So I rented a car, drove down to Miami, picked him up, came right back. And then I have another friend from DC just moved into, and we have a 1-bedroom like duplex.
Jesus.
So it's like me and my boyfriend have the bedroom and my friend and Fabio have the living room. I'm like, what the fuck is going on right now?
Yeah, how's that situation working out?
I don't know, because this was just this past week, and I went and got Fabio on Monday and came back Tuesday, and then I came here on Wednesday. So I don't know. My boyfriend's dealing with it right now. I'm like, honey, I'm going to go get them, and they're just going to live here. They're like, okay. And then bye. Take care of it. Thanks. But I guess it's getting along fine.
Okay.
Because, we just moved there, and we didn't really have any friends. So it's nice, that we have people there, even though it's a lot. Because me and my boyfriend, we're just used to us being in the house by ourselves. And
when you're driving this ice cream truck, let's get back to the business, right? When you're driving this ice cream truck and you pull up to, I'm assuming kids or
a lot of stuff.
Okay,
we do special events.
Okay,
it's not just like we're driving around the neighborhood.
It's not like Mr. Softy.
No. With sometimes we do that, but not very often. It's more like us. We have events that we have to go do. Festivals, that kind of stuff.
Really, really cool. That's actually a really good business.
Yeah, it's not just like a regular ice cream. It's a franchise. It's a gourmet popsicle thing. Okay,
so then you guys bought into a franchise, and then you drive around. That's a really, really good business.
But it is sweet. But I did get depressed from it a lot, actually, because we do like, we go to like preschools and stuff, or just like any kind of family thing, and it makes me really depressed because like I see all these kids in these families, I'm like, fuck, man.
In not so good situations, or
they're happy. Oh, that makes me sad. Oh, I hate happy people. That shit pisses me off so bad. No, like kids, because I want kids, and it's like, oh, all these people have kids, and here's your ice cream, and
And that's something that came up too. A lot of people were very happy and they were glad. They were like, wow, like his most dream job in the world is to have kids. So this is still one of your dreams?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
I've already named him and everything.
Yeah.
I just got to get him somehow.
So I'm just playing devil's advocate here because I wanted kids too. But fuck, I had to take care of our nieces and nephews one day with my boyfriend, and we were with them for 5 hours. We barely could talk about adult stuff because they were watching.
I don't talk about adult stuff anyway. Who am I going to talk about adult stuff to?
Well, I mean, like, oh, we got to do this, or I couldn't do any work because, God forbid my work, like they look at my work or anything like that. But
my work is ice cream, so it's perfect.
Yeah, no, you're good, but it almost felt like we paused for like 4 or 5 hours because we were babysitting. And I was like, wow, this would be
also
every
have to think
day.
About, that was your nephew, and that's not your child.
True.
You're whenever you're around other people's children, you're very much more conscious of what you're saying and like worried about like, oh, am I going to like I don't know what their parents are trying to teach them and blah, blah, blah. So you're going to be like that. But like with your own children, I think it's a lot easier. Okay.
But it's still.
But like in my life, we don't do anything. I mean, I can't think of anything like, I sell ice cream. My boyfriend works at Lowe's. When we're home, we watch Adventure Time and cartoons.
If you've already named your boy or girl?
I prefer boy.
Okay.
But if I have names for both.
For both.
Yeah.
Okay. So if you've already.
They're not approved by my boyfriend. He approves them when he's drunk, and then when he's sober, he's like, what? We're going to call them what? I'm like, yeah.
Do you mind if I ask what?
Yeah, my son's name is going to be Chevy.
Chevy, okay.
I love Chevy Chase, and I love Chevys.
Okay.
I'm a huge Chevy dude. And my daughter's going to be Shamal.
Shamal.
It's my favorite Maserati.
Both named after cars.
Obviously.
Okay.
I don't know if you've noticed, but I am white trash. So yes, they will be named after cars.
Yeah, but a Maserati is not really white trash. Is it?
A Shamal.
Is it really? Okay, I'm not.
Early 90s trashy Maserati, yeah.
When you do have these kids, how are you going to tell them? Would you be open about like having done porn and stuff in the past? No? Why not?
They won't even know what porn is. They won't be allowed on the internet. They won't have social media.
Yeah, but wouldn't you? Well, you're not on social media, right? So
no,
it's not. Okay, so I can see that being easy, but wouldn't that be a hindrance, especially in the world that we're going into? Like everybody has to have stuff. I've met parents that do stop their kids or limit them from being on the internet, but I feel like it's a double.
But by then, I mean, I'll just be like a relic. Nobody will remember what Sean Duran is.
I will.
Well,
people will. No, people.
But I just
people
don't think.
will.
I just don't think so. Because by the time I have them, I most likely won't be doing this anymore. And it's just like there's so much new stuff coming out. My shit will get pushed down to the bottom of the pile on Google. I know where I fit in, and I know where I don't fit in. That's the thing with some people that I don't like. That like, oh, everyone's just as good as everybody else. No, they're not.
Okay, I understand.
I'm not as good as some other people.
Well, I mean, everybody serves
a purpose.
Their purpose in what we're doing here, right?
But some people's purpose are more important than others. My purpose is not that important. Porn is not that important. And it's actually, I think it's very detrimental to society, period.
So you think what you do is detrimental to society?
Very much so.
Okay.
And I think porn in general is.
Okay, but I will agree to an extent because I think that too much of anything is not good for you. However, when somebody says that it's a despicable, disgusting industry, I have to I wince at that because of the fact that what about the pharmaceutical industry? What about...
Honey, nobody's saying that's not, though. But nobody's saying that.
Yes, I understand that. But the thing is they will point to this first before anything and say, oh, how disgusting. Meanwhile, they've been marketed to and exploited to no extent by all of these other industries.
All day long.
Yes.
Psoriasis commercials. Crohn's disease.
Yes.
All day.
That are taking
convincing
advantage.
people they have Crohn's disease.
Exactly. Don't say we're dirty when Hollywood is dirtier and has been dirty for the longest time. When the pharmaceutical industry is dirtier or has been dirtier for the longest time.
But you're taking that out of context. He did not say that those are not despicable.
But I'm pretty sure
he's just pointing out what is despicable.
I understand, but I'm pretty sure
I'm defending someone
who
does not like me.
I know,
but that's me. I defend truth and honor I defend shit that I see right. If someone tells me like, oh, you did this, I'm like, you're right. I did do that.
I just, there's.
You know what? Porn is not good for society, but neither is this whiskey, and people still buy it, and people still sell it. There's a lot of things that are not good for society.
A lot of things that are not good.
But they're still there.
And I just think that,
and no, I'm not super proud of being in an industry that's not good for society. And people always want to say, oh, what do you mean it's not good for society? Like, people need porn. People don't need porn. And it actually makes it harder for people to be in relationships. I think it makes it harder for people to have sex in general.
One thing I noticed that you said the other day when we were hanging out. Okay, well, I'll watch porn, you watch porn with your boyfriend, and we'll be happier that way. Do you feel that way? Do you?
What?
Really feel, oh, you may have had a whiskey at that point.
What did I say? When was this? What day was this?
I can't remember. But you said
I didn't. I've only drinking yesterday.
So then you had said, that's fine. I'll be happy. I'll watch porn and jerk off, and then you can watch your porn and jerk off, and we'll still be happy.
That sounds like something I possibly could have said. I don't remember doing it, but
I remember thinking.
No, I think what it is that comes back to like being in a relationship and like sex lives of people in relationships. You have to hide and like jerk off because you're not going to have sex that day probably, and it's going to be an inconvenience if you want to have sex with the other person.
Okay,
so I'm like, I'll go in the bathroom and just jerk off this real quick because I know that he's probably doing it too, but we don't talk about it.
We'll see. That's the thing. I have designated days, not designated, but we have days where I'm like, you want some time for yourself? Or my boyfriend will ask, hey, I'm going to take some time today. I think that's healthy. I think that's okay. Like,
are you Puerto Rican?
No.
Is your boyfriend Puerto Rican?
No.
Then that's how you'll get away with that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not, no.
Okay.
No.
No, yeah. Well, my
they don't have that kind of sensibility. Be like, why? Why do you want to? Why don't you not fuck? Because I know you don't want to have sex either.
But my father's Cuban, so I do know that that spicy Latino, like that machismo, right?
I love how Latino people call it spiciness. Just spiciness.
It's
just a little fun, or argumentative is what people call it.
It's for being an asshole.
Yeah,
like, honestly,
argumentative and problematic. Oh, it's just something spicy. You know what something spicy? Like my boyfriend's like, I don't know, and a lot of Latin people will be like, I just love to argue and just add a little spiciness. Why do you have such a boring relationship? I'm like, or how about just peace?
I'm all about peace, but I'm very passionate. I will say that. So
the word passionate means he wants to argue about shit. Y'all love to say that shit.
See, the thing is I will argue, but then the thing is you got to get that shit out, and then after it's out. Okay, cool. We're good, But if you don't talk about shit, then that's
my boyfriend. He loves to argue, but he has no reason. He argues without reasoning.
All right. Okay.
He argues without any kind of points, any kind of argument at all, and I'll be like, and I just everything he says, I immediately shut it down with evidence, fact-based evidence. I'm like, actually, if you look at this and this and this, you're extremely wrong and you're fucking annoying and go to bed. He'd be like, no, I don't believe you. I'm like, well, I can tell you, I'll even have like the location set on my phone. He'd be like, where were you today? I'm like, well, if you like to look on your phone, you'll be able to see where I was, and everything that you're saying is absolutely incorrect.
Yeah, no,
sorry,
we don't have any of that stuff.
No,
my boyfriend's German and Italian, and kind of grew up in a situation where you don't really talk about stuff too much. So, and Germans, you know how they are, man. They pent up all that shit, and then one day it's going to explode. And I always tell them, I was like, I don't want that shit to explode on me. I don't want to be that person.
Well, because I didn't contribute, honey.
No, but the thing is I didn't contribute to all that. Like there's definitely other factors. So sometimes he'll come home from work and stuff, and he's like, you can tell he's pissy and he's moody, and I'm like, I didn't do this. You need to talk to the person that did this, because I'll do that with people. Like if somebody pisses me off on like the street or on the sidewalk or something, I'm like, excuse me, you're an asshole or something, and you explain why, and then you go from there, and that's fine. And they can either take it in a good way or we get into fight. I don't know.
If I'm upset, if I'm feeling like in a bad mood, and it's not about my boyfriend, I'll tell him, I'm like, honey, I'm sorry, I'm in a bad mood. I just had blah blah blah. But my boyfriend would, everything will be fine, because he goes through phases. I know that it's going to be 2 weeks of him being decent and be around, and then the next week is going to be, I'm like, oh God, it's been 2 weeks. And then it'll switch. I swear to God, it will switch like that. He'll be like, huh, and then it'll be like, I'm like, hey, honey.
Wait,
hey.
What sign is
I'm like, well, I don't know.
When's his birthday?
August.
Okay. Oh, he's a Leo.
Yeah, there you go.
Oof.
So it's like, I'm like, oh, hey, honey. Like, I'm like, what's wrong? I ain't nothing. I'm like, oh, Jesus, fuck. What? Honey, what happened? What happened from the time when we were just having a good time to right now? It makes no sense. What did I do? I said, you didn't do nothing. I'm fine. I'm like, oh my God. And I'm like, I'm just leave you home. You know what? I'm like, we're just gonna go home because I can't do anything. I can't function with that shit.
But you like Latinos.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I lived in Miami. What else am I gonna fuck? There ain't nothing else there.
But
and then now I'm home in North Carolina. I'm like, oh, look at all these white guys. I bet they I bet they have actual reasons for being upset and
they have rational thinking.
I'm like, oh, rational thinking people. Because he just gets so mean. And he'll just like, if I go to the store and it generally takes me 5 minutes and I take 6 minutes, you were at the store very long. Why were you there? Huh? Was someone there? Oh, wait. I'm like, are you fucking crazy?
One of the things that I thought that was very interesting that you said the other day too was there's a lot of Mexican cowboys, vaqueros in North Carolina.
Oh yeah, love that shit.
And Asian rednecks.
Yeah, a lot of redneck Laotian people.
Really?
I used to be so into that shit. Yeah, like because I used to work at this Japanese restaurant, my first job, and I worked there for a long time. And I used to work at a nail salon because I used to do nails. Because I thought I was Asian, and then so all the time these other like Laotian people, because the majority of like all the Asian people in North Carolina are Vietnamese and Laotian. So these Laotian guys will come in and they talk like this, like, "Hey, how you doing? I'm just going to get chicken." I'm like, "Oh fuck, my ovaries would explode." And they'd have tattoos everywhere. Oh, fucking thugged out redneck Asian dude.
Did they have like shredders and shit? Like, did they wear shredders?
Oh no,
okay,
no, we never wear shredders. Shredders,
yeah, shredders are also like Southern.
Yeah. My daddy would wear them.
Yeah, we've been watching this thing on YouTube. That's what's that? What's that place called? Like coal country in West Virginia? Appalachia, yeah. Oh, girl. Right? I see some. I'm like,
so
wow.
beautiful.
Yeah.
So beautiful.
And that area
dear
is so
God.
nice. But yeah, I know. I think
I've because I love Zillow. Because I'm in a relationship,
That's
so I don't
porn.
have Grindr.
That's your
Zillow
porn,
is my Grindr. Oh my God, dude. I'll go on Zillow. I'm like, oh God, if we just lived in West Virginia with these fucking inbreds, we could live in a mansion. A mansion.
I feel like
gorgeous houses.
Yeah, that area I think is definitely gonna.
But yeah, Appalachia is gorgeous. But you know the Appalachian Trail, so many people go missing and get murdered on that trail.
What?
'Cause it's like a several 100-mile like hiking trail. So many people get murdered on that shit.
Okay, well, I'm definitely not going on that trail. I mean,
I'm not going to.
I have a lot of.
I'll drive it. I'm not going to fucking walk it.
What makes you a Republican?
What makes me a Republican? I don't know. I disagree with everything Republicans say, and I just super disagree with everything that liberals and Democrats say.
So then you're not a Republican. You're probably an independent.
No, I'm a Republican.
I feel like this is such a dirty word now.
What?
The fact that you just said, I realize that I'm a Republican.
Uh-huh.
And you're a porn star.
Uh-huh.
And you're a gay porn star.
Okay. Here's the thing. Republican has nothing to do with being gay. Has nothing to do with being anything. It's just your beliefs.
I feel like you have more conservative values, but
I'm so conservative. I've always been conservative. I've been like the most conservative gay porn star. I'm like, I don't know.
No, I've definitely come across a couple that are.
I mean, of course, I can't do everything in my life conservative. It's very difficult to do that.
Because you got to think about this, and I think about this a lot too, because I think I have a lot of conservative values. However, I would never vote for a Republican because of the religion aspect and the gay issues. Mm-hmm. If they would just get rid of that, fiscally, I feel conservative about spending money.
I'm not religious at all.
Okay.
I don't believe in Christianity. But when I do have kids, I want them to go to church and I want them to believe in Christianity.
But why?
Because I want them to believe in something. Because I've lived my entire life not being able to believe in it, and I felt very lost and very scared about death and all that stuff. But I want my children to believe in something, even if it's the stupidest shit.
But what about believing in themselves? Because that's a big thing.
Believe in yourselves. Live your fucking truth.
But that's
so stupid.
No. But there's also
believe in themselves. But it's more about like what happens in the afterlife.
What? So you believe in an afterlife? So then you're.
I don't know. But I prefer my children to fully believe that if they're good and they can go to heaven and stuff like that, even if I know that's fucking stupid. But I want my kids to be able to, just like people want their kids to believe in Santa Claus and the Tooth Fairy.
Yeah.
Just so they can have,
they're
they can
lying
have
to them. They're lying to their kids.
But they're giving them something to believe in.
But if you, and my thing doesn't come from a liberal aspect. It comes from Buddhism, honestly, which is what I think is the most.
Sounds queer.
It sounds queer. But the thing is of all the religions out there, the one that actually sounds like real life, treat other people well, or how you want to be treated, is Buddhism.
Yeah, but where do you go when you die in Buddhism?
You come back. So that's a good thing for, hey, you know, be better. So that way, when you come back, you'll be in a different place. But
being Buddhist keeps your mind open to a lot of other possibilities, and being Christian closes your mind to possibilities. And I want my kids' minds to be closed to possibilities.
What? That doesn't make any sense, though. You can't do
does.
that. You can't. Why would you want your kids to be closed-minded? You can't do that.
Because then you fully believe. These Christians, listen.
You want limitation. You want
These Christians fully fucking believe that it was Adam and Eve, and they fully fucking believe in all this shit, and Jesus and shit.
But they'll drive in cars that are fueled by fossils.
Yes,
but that doesn't make any sense.
Let them believe it, though. Let them believe it. It doesn't make any sense. Christianity makes no sense at all. Everything that I hear about Christianity, I'm like, that makes no fucking sense. But they believe it, and they live their life by it, and they're at peace. I want my children to be at peace.
Okay, well, you can still be at peace, and
you can't be, because I'm not at peace. I'm terrified of the afterlife.
Well, all right, well, peace and afterlife, very, very different.
No, it's not. I don't think so.
Well,
because if you don't know what's going to happen next, you're always going to be like, you're always going to be worried. You're always going to be worried. I don't want my kids to be worried.
Okay, so what do you think happens in the afterlife?
I don't know. I don't know.
Have you had those discussions with yourself, or
when I'm stoned?
Yeah,
that's why I don't smoke weed anymore, because that's all I can think about. I'm like, if I see like a documentary about like space or anything else, I'm like, nope. I don't want to think about it.
There are times where I will take a gummy, or I'll smoke, and we'll hang out, and literally I'll lay my head back. And the only thing I can think of is, what the fuck?
Severe anxiety for me.
We are this big, and there's that much
severe
more.
Anxiety. But you know why? We think that? Because we're open-minded. Because you're Buddhist, and I don't have religion, and I'm able to think outside. But Christians are closed-minded. They know what they know. They in their heart, they know what's going to happen, so they don't even have to think about that. And I want my children to not have to think about that.
But they don't know. Because we don't know. Nobody knows. That's the thing.
No.
That's
but they believe they know.
That's dangerous, because if you believe you know something, then you think that everything that you know is right. And there's a lot wrong with that, because then they can tell you what to do. They can tell me what to do.
Christians can't tell me what to do.
They're trying.
If you're in the Christian church, they can tell you what to do.
But if you believe in something enough, you can absolutely affect the communities that you're in and make stuff happen for your religion. And if you are an American and you believe in the separation of church and state, we have to be able to separate these. And a lot of times there's no separation. For instance, like the Roe v. Wade thing. Let's talk about, we can
I don't deal with that.
No, we don't have to deal with it. But the thing
I'm going to get canceled for that Roe v. Wade shit.
We don't have to. But the thing is that's a perfect example of, here are people who don't agree with abortion. I don't agree with abortion. I don't agree with it, but I'm not going to stop this person, just like I don't want anybody stopping me from having sex with whoever I want to have sex with in my room.
This podcast isn't going to be fun anymore. We got to talk about something else, because I don't agree with it.
Look, I just want to address the idea, like,
there's plenty of non-Christians who believe everything that Republicans have to say.
Well, I think a lot of Republicans aren't really Christian.
No, they're not. I'm not. No, they're not. I'm not.
See, here's the thing: religion is a tool, and it's a weapon, and it can be weaponized, and that's the only reason why.
Listen, the point. This whole religion thing came to, like, do I want my kids to be Christian just so that they can have peace of mind? I'm not trying to have Christian policies. I just want my kids to not have to worry about their afterlife. Okay, but I don't know how this got turned into Roe v. Wade. I just want my kids to not.
No, I understand.
I want my kids, when they get high on smoke weed, I don't want them to think like, where do we go when we die? I want them to be like,
but they're gonna do that. I feel like everybody has that thought.
Yeah, but Christians don't.
Well, how do you know? Are you in? Like you're not in there. They may
Listen,
be able to suppress.
my family, I have missionaries. I have missionaries in my family, and preachers and missionaries and shit in my family. They believe that shit. They're into it, and I'm happy for them. I wish I could.
Look, I think that in a good person, faith is amazing.
Yeah,
but that's also an extension of your attitude.
Because I guess what I'm saying is when I am as not atheist, I'm agnostic. I know, but I believe there's something there, but I don't know what it is. I don't think he really cares what we do down here. But being agnostic, atheism is freedom, but it's also not comforting at all.
Not at all. But that I don't think that life is comforting. I think that we're here and
Christianity gives these Christians some kind of comfort. And I would prefer my children to be comforted in some way.
But at some point, something happened to you and to me to say, this is not the answer. And if you've
reason.
Yeah.
So hopefully my children won't have that kind of IQ.
But look, just like Santa Claus, right? Eventually you find out that Santa Claus isn't real.
That out? I remember my feelings, and I remember where I was when I found out, but I remember how I found out, and I remember crying.
My parents never instilled that in me. I knew that they bought all of our stuff.
Really?
Yeah. Well, I also was watching TV much younger than I should have been. Granted, it was during the 80s, so it was a better time to watch TV.
Watch TV before you...
I was definitely watching R-rated movies at like 7 or 8. My parents were working all day.
I didn't watch cartoons. I watched Seinfeld and Friends.
Yeah, well, see, I knew that Santa Claus wasn't real almost from the get. I think it was adorable. It's a nice tradition to think that Santa Claus is real, but I knew that my parents were breaking their asses to try and buy us gifts, and they did their best.
I think I figured out when I was 8. I guess. I don't remember how I found out, but
yeah, and even to the point where
I guess I did have reason. I'm like, I asked my mom. I was like, "Is Santa Claus real?" She's like, "No." And I remember sitting on our blue velvet couch with our mirror furniture because we're from the trailer park, and it was early '90s.
Yeah, that's what you do in the '90s.
Yeah, and our precious moment figurines, and I just started crying. I just cried for hours. And I said, can I just watch Toy Story?
Yeah, well, I mean, if anything, what we should do, life is not everything that
we should do everything in our power to make our children's lives easier.
Fine, but the thing is once you let those kids go into the world, one way or another, they will discover that life is not what everybody says it is. And
it is in North Carolina.
Okay, all right. Well, I've yet to go to North Carolina.
God, it's insane. There's literally a church like Starbucks here. There's churches. Really? It's so crazy. Like we were driving. I'm like, we should have a game. We should take a shot every time we pass a church. We'd be fucking wasted.
Oof, yeah,
trash. There's like just on streets. Like, did you think are just residential? There's like a church there. Like, what the fuck is this? How are there this many people that go to church?
I don't watch a lot of Lifetime movies, but I know that it exists. If life can be a Lifetime movie all the time,
then all of our names will be Tanya.
Yeah, I know. And everybody, something would be happening for Christmas. Kids are coming home, all that stuff. It's absolutely gorgeous. But the thing is we have to live outside of that because it's not real. And it's very unfortunate. But
the kids come home for Christmas?
Yeah, kids home, like, we got to bake this pie and we got to do this and all that stuff. And carol. Who does that? Nobody does that. The Lifetime channel does that. Do people carol in North Carolina too? Yeah. They do?
Yeah, they do.
Fuck.
All the things you're saying that doesn't happen does happen.
What? Okay, so then I've gotten insanely screwed.
No, I don't. I don't carol. I don't carol, but I've seen carolers. And actually, so I live in Gastonia, Cramerton, and it's all these cities, and we have a town called McAdenville, and it's literally called
Mechanicsville.
Huh?
Is it Mechanicsville? Is
no,
that what you said?
McAdenville, and it's Christmastown, USA.
Oh God.
The entire town, when you buy a house there, you have to sign paperwork saying that you will put up X amount of Christmas lights because people come from hundreds of miles to go to McAdenville. It's so beautiful.
It is.
And it's such a togetherness in this fucking giant traffic line that lasts for hours. But it's nice.
Well,
it's beautiful.
It is. I agree
because here's the thing. A lot of gay people that are watching this, like, oh, people don't do that. People don't. Because everyone, when you're gay, you leave your hometown. You came to New York. I went to Miami. Some people go to LA. But the majority of people, we're the minority of people. Mm-hmm. The majority of people are straight. and they stay in their hometowns and they stay with their family and they do all these things that are in mainstream media because that mainstream media should reflect
that we produce. Isn't that nuts? That we produce from New York and California and.
But that's the problem with, oh God, I mean, how am I going to go? Because the new movies now are being produced in all these major cities where all these liberal ideas are coming from. So they're putting them in these movies that the majority of the population in America don't agree with. So we're not going to see these movies. I'm not going to see this shit. And like, you're not reflecting true life. You're reflecting true life in your tiny communities in New York and LA. And that's not what's happening in the rest of the world. You know?
Yeah.
But what I'm saying is gay people, yeah, sure, we leave our families and go to these big cities because it's hard. Because I left North Carolina because all the gay people there were not cute and I was going to be single for the rest of my life. So I was like, I need to go to Florida. So I went to Florida and, you know, I was able to find my boyfriend. And now I've imported him up to North Carolina. So now I can be back with my family and in the real world, but with my cute boyfriend who I would not have been able to find.
So you've seen, and because you've been in you've been in LA.
There's several versions of there. I mean, the real world, you know, there's no real world. Because you know, there's my life. It's the Matrix.
You gotta follow that.
The fucking Matrix. No.
You gotta follow that shit up.
I'm getting real. I'm like, I'm gonna call Joe Rogan up real quick. I'm gonna no, because you know, my mom, you know, my family lives in their world, which is North Carolina, which is, you know, go to work and have a house and blah, blah, blah. And, you know, here I am. I go to different cities and escort, and I have sex with people for money and blah, blah, blah. There's a lot of people who don't realize that even happens, you know? And there's people in my world, in the whole escort and porn world, that don't even realize that, you know, people go to church and bake pies and have family gatherings, stuff like that. They don't think that's even a real thing anymore. But it's all a real thing. It's all the real world. It all happens together, and we have to respect everything, but we don't have to push our shit onto other people.
I agree with that to an extent, for sure. I don't want you to limit your kids' minds. That's it. That's the only thing. Just for the sake of their happiness.
I do, because my mind was not limited, and you're left with even more questions than answers.
No, I understand that, but imagine, okay, when you're gone, and your kids are 40, and all of a sudden they're like, fuck, like, this is because, you know, shit like that happens. I've met people that in their 60s are like, wow, like, what did I do with my life? People in their 20s, people, when you start figuring out.
Well, I'm not trying to trap my children into something. I just want them to believe in heaven. You are taking this to so many.
Well, no, because
I just want them to believe in heaven.
Okay, all right.
And to get good grades and be good.
Okay, all right.
Help old ladies across the street. Goddamn.
I've helped old ladies across
I love
the street.
helping.
I know.
My boyfriend even said this the other day. He said, the thing I like about you is like, you'll just help random people. You'll just do shit for people.
Nothing wrong with that.
Yeah. I feel like I just want to, like, I don't know.
You want to connect.
Yeah.
So where does Sean Duran go from here?
To the bathroom. Well, no, I got to go to Covington, Tennessee to buy this truck. Maybe. I don't know. Okay. No, actually, first, though, I have to go to Fort Lauderdale because I got to get this car fixed. So my ex-husband was driving my car for like a year or so, you know, while we were traveling or living in LA. He was driving my car without a license, obviously. Expired tags, obviously. No insurance, obviously, because
damn,
that's how we are.
I was going to say, how do you get away with all that shit? But it's in Florida.
You never been? It's wonderful. You can do whatever you want.
I've been many times, and
I hate not being in Florida. Every time I go,
really?
Like the other day, as soon as I passed, I'm like, I can feel the warm embrace of my father, Ron DeSantis, and God. I'm like, I get so excited. I'm like, oh, Christ. Daddy, I'm back.
Like I said, my family's Cuban American, and a lot of them live in Florida, and we don't particularly agree with a lot of things. I understand their point of view, and that's an important thing, is you don't have to agree with where people's politics are, or
you don't have to agree,
but you have to respect where they've been in life.
Yes, and you shouldn't have them canceled off Twitter. They should be allowed to say what they have to say.
Well, I don't think any of my family, any of my abuela and shit like that aren't on Twitter.
I drew up an X on Twitter, see? Or X, as they call it now.
X, yes.
People are like, oh, what do you have? What's your X handle? I'm like, what What the fuck does that mean? I've been off Twitter for that long. I've only been off Twitter for like 7 months, and apparently it's already changed to this X thing.
Are you planning on doing any social media?
No.
Are you planning on doing any content creation?
You're such a content creator. Do you want to do a collab? We should do a collab. Oh my God.
No collabs
I'm
in
not
your
collabing.
future?
Well, shit. I hate when people call it collabs. When I was on Twitter, when I tried to do some kind of just for fans, but I'm just too lazy. People are like, do you want to collab? I'm like, are you gonna like rap and I'm gonna sing like a song? What are you talking about? Oh, you mean fuck on camera together? That's not a collab, Shug.
So,
No, I'm not gonna use social media.
all right.
Not because of any kind of political reasons or anything. I just do it because I can't scroll all day long. It really hampers my ability to live. Constantly scrolling, constantly like, oh, that person's life is so great, and their life is not great. It's just filters.
Yeah.
Because any picture you see on me on social media where it looked like my life was great, I was lying. That's just a filter. My life was not great.
I wish I didn't have to be on social media as much as I do. But I just, there's no way to continue doing even this or work without that being a part of your life. So,
Well, people said that about porn acting. I don't need it. But I guess when you're such a legend, you don't really have to have that,
yeah. Legendary.
There's
porn
fucking
star.
hieroglyphs of me in porn.
Legendary porn star.
They were like digging in the Great Pyramid. It's like, oh, look at this ancient hieroglyph of Sean Duran.
Well, that's something to think about. Like, 3,000 years into the future, someone's going to find a DVD or a V8. No, not VHS. But a VHS, but a DVD of Sean Duran on the cover.
They don't even make DVDs anymore, do they?
They do.
No, they make Blu-rays.
No, but there's still a market for DVDs. We can't end it on this.
We can't end on this and cut.
We have to talk about something else before we do.
Let's talk about the notes, the fruit, floral, and nut notes of this bourbon.
I've bastardized it. Let me just take a little bit. Just
Here, take some ice
to open it up.
Open it. to open up the bouquet.
You've been watching Demystifying Gay Porn. I am your host, Ike Grande. Demystifying Gay Porn is available wherever you get your podcasts, as well as YouTube. Demystifying Gay Porn is on X, Instagram, Facebook, Telegram. And if you like what you're watching or listening to and want to be a part of the creative process, head over to patreon.com/demystifyinggayporn, where you can help support this audio-visual podcast and YouTube channel, and I can continue making content like you've just enjoyed. Once again, this is Demystifying Gay Porn. My name is Ike Grande, and if you watch gay porn, I've definitely helped to get off. Cheers.